Hello pandas. Recycling bottles and cans for money. Many of you might see this as obvious, and to be honest, so did I. It's what you do with them, right? You save up your empties, and then when you've got a reasonable amount, you bring them in and you get the money back, right? Well, this video ain't for you. Because there are a lot of people all over the world who hear what I just explained and think, what? Why? Yes, it's regional. Over the years I've spent making videos and collecting bottles, I've learned that there are many people in the world who had no idea this was a thing. So if that's you, then this video's for you. I'm excited about this one. It's one of my most requested videos of all time, and it's time to make some sense out of this thing. Let's get the basic premise out of the way first. Many regions around the world have a container deposit program in place, which exists to reduce the amount of litter on our streets and waste in our landfills. In these regions, when you buy a beverage, you pay for the product, but you also pay a deposit on the container, as well as a small recycling fee. You can see it right there on the receipt. The recycling fee is gone, but the deposit is returned to you when you return the container. I totally see how it could be confusing to see it in action without context, because generally when we scrap or recycle something, it's because there's a value to the base material which is reused. That's true with these bottles and cans too. They are remade into new products, but their value is nowhere near the deposit. It exists just to incentivize consumers to keep that separate from the rest of their waste, with the guarantee that they'll get the money right back when they bring it back. Bring them in where, I hear you ask? Well, technically, any retailer that sells the product does have to buy the container back when you return it. Maybe not in times of a pandemic, but the best place by far is the Bottle Depot. It's a sticky, smelly, beautiful place which exists for one reason: to turn your bottle stash into cash. Now, I won't try and explain how these places make money because I don't know, but this system is all about keeping manufacturers responsible for the trash produced when packaging their products. So I suspect it comes from them. They come in many different varieties. Some of them you have to do the counting and sorting yourself. Some of them will count and sort them right there in front of you. Some of them you can just bring bags in and label them and leave them there, and then they'll deposit the cash into your account. Or my new favorite, the fully automated dump the bag out onto the counter and walk out with cash. You can, of course, sort and count them all before taking them in. That way you can be sure you aren't getting ripped off. And some people do. Fair enough. And the question I know many people wonder, the same question that got me interested in the first place: how much are all these bottles and cans worth? It's complicated. It depends on where you are. Here, let me show you. Just have a look at Canada for an example. In Alberta and the Northwest Territories, everything that counts as a beverage falls under the same categories. Milk, juice, soda, alcohol, and water are all worth 10 cents up to and including 1 liter, and anything over 1 liter is 25 cents. Simple. BC has gone through several changes recently. Some used to be 5 cents, and some used to be 20 cents, and then the 5s went up to 10, and as of October 1st, 2020, all containers, regardless of size, will be 10 cents, except for milk containers, which have no deposits. Saskatchewan is doing its own thing. Everything under 1 liter is 10 cents and 1 liter and up is 25, except glass alcohol bottles, which are mostly 20 cents for beer, and wine bottles up to 1 liter, then 40 cents for 1 liter and up. Cha-ching, Saskatchewan. Of course, then you have to live in Saskatchewan, so you win some, you lose some. Manitoba starts to get weird because beverage companies were given the option to just pay a flat 2 cents for every bottle sold rather than running a deposit system. And absolutely every company opted for that except for beer companies. So only beer companies have a deposit in Manitoba, 10 cents up to 1 liter and 20 cents beyond that. Does it work for them? Apparently. Ontario only has refundable deposits for alcohol containers, and just to be different, divides them at 631 milliliters. Anything over that is 20 cents and anything under is 10. Quebec only does beer and soda for now. 5 cents for containers up to 450 milliliters and 20 cents for larger ones. Although by 2022 they expect to include more beverage types and increase all deposits by 5 cents. Newfoundland, things start to make sense again. Fancy that. All beverage types except milk, regardless of size, gets you 5 cents, and wine and hard liquor gets you 10 cents. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI are all the same thing with different words. The Yukon Territory is simple again. All beverage containers have deposits, 5 cents up to 750 milliliters and 25 cents for anything over that. And then Nunavut. They got more elk than people out there. They just do whatever they want. So a truckload of various bottles and cans could be worth a fair bit in a place like Saskatchewan, or quite a bit less in a place like Manitoba where only a few of them carry deposits. If you're unsure if a container has a deposit or not, the bottle depot can just scan the barcode and tell you. That same barcode will also tell them where that bottle was purchased, so no, you can't just collect all of the cans in Ontario and bring them over and cash them in BC. Ask me how I know. Now, growing up in BC and moving to Alberta, I've been saving up bags of bottles for money my entire life, so I assumed this practice was universal. Far from it! Of all the states in the US, only 10 states actually have a bottle deposit return system, and the prices vary just in the same way as Canadian provinces do, although Oregon probably has the best prices at 10 US cents per bottle, except for milk and something else. Australia is similar. South Australia has been doing it since the 70s, and recently several Australian states have started a similar program. There wasn't anything in the UK until Iceland Foods started a pilot program in a few of their locations with the reverse vending machines, they're called. Not much else happening there yet, but it sounds like Scotland will have a program in place by 2022. Croatia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Germany, Lithuania, Iceland, Netherlands, Norway, and Sweden also all have deposit programs, and they've all been massively successful. Germany has the highest deposit I've seen at 25 cents a bottle, and Norway has seen a massive 97% recycling rate on all plastic bottles since introducing the program. And it's all paid for by the companies that produced the garbage in the first place, as it should be. In fact, the only reason more states don't have a deposit program is because of aggressive lobbying by bottling companies. Surprise! There's another giant advantage, though, and it's my favorite part of the whole thing. The deposit is tied to the container, not the purchaser. So, find a bottle, 10 cents. Big bottle, 25 cents. Why does that matter? Not everyone is going to care about the small amount of money they lose by throwing these away. And that's actually fine, because in doing so, they create an income stream for people who otherwise don't have one, thus significantly reducing the crime rate. People generally don't want to break into houses or steal cars or attack each other, but they will when they run out of options, and collecting bottles and cans, while not very appealing, is a significantly better option. I've got more to say on the nitty-gritty details of it all, but we'll go over that in part 2. For now, I hope this has helped answer some of the questions about why I save all the bottles and cans that we find on our adventures. If you like clicking buttons, consider giving this video a thumbs up because it really helps, as will checking out the merch, which should be live anytime now. If I've missed any details about bottle recycling in your area, then please drop a comment down below, because nobody loves talking bottles more than I do. I'll catch you on the next one, and until then, leave it better than you found it, and keep doing the thing.